My man, Sphinx, welcome to the Free Yourself podcast. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate
for having me.
Your wonderful time during this crazy time we're in.
Thank you for having me.
Hell yeah, man. I wanna really just get started with, tell people who you are, what you do, and yeah.
So my name is SFYNX. I'm originally from New Jersey. I moved down to the Carolinas about 2005, 2006. And then around 2016, I know I'm kind of like jumping all over the place, but there's just a bunch of unnecessary information that isn't needed. But I went to my first music festival, which was EDC Las Vegas, and that was 2016, if I'm not mistaken. And so for dude, I make dubstep. I make dubstep. I make loud, obnoxious noises that sound good together.
Yeah, man. And that is one fucking hell of a first festival. Holy shit.
So actually a little backstory behind that. The reason I went to that, because I never even heard of like music festival or anything. This is like my first year like getting into like the EDM scene, like whatever. Like my first show was like Caked Up. Like we haven't heard of the Caked Up since like
yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
Fuck yeah.
So that was my first show ever, and it was actually one of my close friends that passed away that had taken me to that show, and he was planning on going to EDC Las Vegas later that year, but he ended up passing away on the way to his brother's bachelor party on the highway. So that was like it was just like a really hard time for all of us. So me and my other buddy came together. We were just like, yo, like he was gonna go, so like we gotta like just continue the legacy, so like we went that year, and like from the moment I touched down into Vegas, like my life just like absolutely changed completely. So kind of a back reason like why I went to begin with, and like kind of where it jump started me. That makes sense.
Well, so that's one festival I've never been to. So kind of take me through, like you touched down at Vegas, then what? Like take me through this fucking weekend, man.
You want like a play-by-play?
Fuck yeah, dude.
How's you being lost?
Oh yeah, we're gonna get there. Hey, so we touched down to Vegas, and then we got an Uber. Am I allowed to talk about like explicit material?
Whatever you want to be.
Okay.
Out to the internet.
Well, I'm sure every single one of y'all have at least smoked weed at least once in your life. So I'm gonna just go ahead and talk about that. So our first thing was this is such a crazy story, dude. But the first thing we did, we're just like, dude, we gotta find Bud. Like that's just the first thing we gotta do. So we got an Uber. We were asking the Uber where to go, and he was just like, oh, you gotta hit the Strip or whatever. So we get to the hotel, change and everything. We head to the Strip. We start asking people around. They're just like, no, we don't got none or whatever. And then this one guy goes, yeah, you need to go to the strip clubs because the strippers like to have weed on them. It's like, okay. Keep in mind, I'm like 18, 17 at the time. So we end up going to the strip club, and worst experience of my life. 10 out of 10 will not do it again, okay? So we went there, and then we left, and then we went back on the strip, and then we found this dude, and he's like, it was like the most sketchy interaction ever, and like he like sold us bud in like an elevator, and we went back to the hotel that night, smoked, and then the next day was the first day of the festival. So we were just up, like, just trying, like, scrambling to get, like, everything, like, in order, all the Ubers and rides and everything. And our shuttle was in downtown to, like, leave to the festival. And we got, like, we got hammered, like, right before. It was, like, they had, like, these tall, like, slushy drinks that are, like, this big. And listen, like, I'm, like, 17, 18 at the time. And I chugged it before we left. So I got in the bus. I'm like, yo, it's lit. Let's do it. Like, whatever. So we get, I just kind of want to like fast forward to like the moment that I got into the festival. So like the moment I got into the festival was just very like, I honestly cried. Like it was just so, because I've never seen anything like it. And it was just like all these emotions hitting me at once, and boom, like, you know, it was just there. Like there wasn't much more to process than like what was in front of me. So yeah, we just went through I forgot about the first name, man. So it was just me and my buddy, and it was just us two in Vegas, just two people just hanging, you know what I'm saying? And then I don't know what happened. One event leads to another. We end up losing each other at the festival. And this is like at the very like beginning of the festival. So we just lose each other for like 6-7 hours or so. And like at the end of the first day, I was just like walking back to the shuttle. Somebody threw something at me, and I was like, who the hell just threw something at me? And it was my boy. And he's like, yo, I found him. I was like, yo, what's up, dude? But yeah, that was the end of the first night. And then like the second night, we just kind of like we kind of rinse and repeat, except the getting lost part. And yeah, I mean, that was pretty much like the trip. Like we just kind of just chilled and then left. And then we had edibles delivered to the airport. That was really fucking cool. Edit that out. Edit that out, bro. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like it was like the most interesting part of the entire trip was the very beginning of the trip, and then every other day just kind of like mimicked the day before. It just became like clockwork at that point. But yeah.
So how many different stages were there? Do you remember?
There was circuit grounds. There was the main stage, base pod. I can't remember off the top of my head. If I had to guess, I think it's like 4 or 5 stages. It was so sick. I think that year, like one of the stages actually caught on fire too. I think it was base pod that caught on fire.
Who were some of the artists that you saw?
Ooh. This is gonna sound really bad, but I really don't remember.
Oh, I mean, so what were you gonna say?
I said, let me look up that lineup actually for that year. I'll tell you exactly who I saw, because there were some names that I was just like, cause keep in mind, like this is the first time like I was introduced to EDM like before, but I was like way more into like the trappy type of stuff, whatever, and like I didn't really hear anything else. Like the most dubsteppy thing I heard was Skrillex, was like Cinema and like that type of stuff. But like when I got to EDC, it just rocked me. Like I've never heard anything like it, and I think like at that moment I just fell in love with dubstep. I was like, dude, this shit is crazy. Like, how are people making this, etc., etc. And oh, what the fuck just happened? Ryan, you broke my computer, dog. It's not cool, dude. All right, here we go.
So before you went to EDC, was there any inkling in making music? Like had you played instruments growing up, anything like that?
None. Now, I mean, the only kind of like thing you can kind of compare, like say that I was musically whatever, like curious in, was like I had just like torrented my first thing of Fruity Loops. And this is on my laptop. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just pressing a bunch of buttons. Sounded like BS. But like, I guess the curiosity was there. I was like, okay, like this is pretty cool. But then like I put it down for a couple years, and then I went to the festival, and then it kind of like resparked. Holy shit, that's a big lineup.
Yeah, that lineup is always freaking. It's every heavy hitter in the world.
Yeah, it's very like wow. Like honestly, like the thing is, I'm pretty sure I saw Excision there. I'm pretty sure.
If I'm going back to 2016, that is like peak dubstep.
This is like freaking when it was like becoming a thing, you know?
Because before that, like, I'd say 2013 to 2000 or 2012 to 2015 is more like Big Room and like the Martin Garrix Animals and that it was that era of music.
There's
And
a lot of trap. A
yeah,
lot of like party like,
Flossadamus.
trap. Yeah, Floss
Yeah.
was huge. Floss was huge.
Because that I went to Tomorrow World in Atlanta because Tomorrowland obviously is in Belgium, and they brought Tomorrow World to America for a few years, and I went to the first time they had it, and the trap stage, oh my god.
Dude, trap, like, I will never, like, trap will always have, like, a place in my heart just because it's, like, what I, like, initiated on. So like, when I listen to trap, like, it's very nostalgic, and it just brings me back to, like, the old days.
Well, dude, I had a whole persona, Captain Track.
Dude, no, you did it, dude.
Yeah, dude. Dude,
what was it? What was the name?
Captain Track Sparrow.
Yes, dude, that's so sick. Yes,
dude, and like, I mean, I can say I had like a whole persona, but like all it was is when I was with my buddies and stuff, because like I couldn't play trap and shit at like the freaking like university like bars and stuff that I was getting gigs at, and like in Philly, like trap. So for some people like that are listening to this, trap music is like a certain genre of hip hop, right? And that's not what we're talking about for anybody listening. Like we're talking about trap EDM, like the artists we're talking about, like Flossadamus and shit.
This ain't no Chicago trap deal.
Yeah, like this is the like 140 BPM halftime, freaking awesome. Like I loved that shit so much. And so like when I'd be with my friends and we're pre-gaming and stuff, and we're I have my DJ equipment set up like at my place in Westchester and shit, and so 2013 2016 is when I would have like I'd be like I had this I made a SoundCloud for it and everything, and I think I put up a mix or two on that, but my whole thing was like I would do big room and house music and stuff, and I would progress my sets from 128 BPMs up to the 150 range, and that was like my thing that I like to do. And I hated like my whole hashtag for Free Yourself when this was like a music podcast was genres are just limitations. Like I very much believed in that. And then of course like Chris and I got together and the remote controller started, and like he came at the side from like not grew up, but he started listening to like trance and techno and that, and I was on the other side of like dubstep and trap and like electro house, Melbourne bounce, and like so right in the middle came bass house, and like it was like it was so cool. So many different things with Chris and I. We were opposites, and when we came together, it just like it met so well in the middle, and I loved that about us. And we're coming out with another track, and I don't
go check my boy out. Go check my boy out.
Yeah, and I'm really pumped about it. It's gonna be called Don't Stop, and it's what I really love about the names of the tracks and stuff, because it's very important for us to come up with something that really makes a mark. And with our first track being Game Over, it was like as the remote controllers, like that was very, very important, not just for like branding, but like starting off with like Game Over, like we're on the fucking scene now, like we're fucking doing this, and it went to number 8 in Bass House on Beatport, and number 9 for the staff picks for the entire year on Beatport. So like we were just like, that's it, we're fucking doing this.
That's it. Yep.
And then a really like a beautiful like follow up to that was Bring the Funk, because Game Over became the highest selling track on Funk Junk Records, and we did a collab with the CEO of Funk Junk Records called Bring the Funk. Like, so it was like, here's the CEO and here's the top selling artist on the record label, and here's our next fucking track. And now it's very like symbolic, I think, for us to come out with a song called Don't Stop, because it's like
Don't stop, can't stop, won't stop.
We're not fucking stopping. This is just the fucking beginning. Like,
Nope.
and it's and like Game Over was definitely, you know, on the softer side of bass house, and Bring the Funk was like in the middle, kind of not harder, but Don't Stop is like almost more electro house. And then after that, we have all these different songs like tech house, bass house, all a whole like freaking. It's gonna be
Y'all got
like
a catalog.
dude, I'm really freaking pumped, and then we have a freaking song with someone else that I can't really talk about yet. I'll tell you.
I need the sauce. Edit it out, bro. I need the sauce.
Oh yeah, I'll just edit it out. It's fucking with.
Yes.
We're going dark, dude.
Oh, Kyle, if you're seeing this, dude, send that shit over, man.
Yeah. and we've got a couple more collabs in the work, and I'm really focusing on my own production now. Like it's just all I care about right now is this podcast and getting better at making music. And you know, I don't really care about posting on social media and stuff, because like I focused too long on social media marketing and stuff, and it's not like I like, it was a great learning process. Like now I know what can be successful on social media, and how to kind of play that fucking game that I hate of social media. And but I know what's most important is building those relationships and stuff, and showing people, you know, like who we truly are. Like that's
Right.
what's really important about it. And doing this podcast and really focusing on my music behind the scenes, like to then come back with even more. Like I don't know if it's going to be remote controllers or if it's going to be Ryan, Janni, and some writing credits of Chris D'Souza, like, because I have so much lyrics written, I have so many things I want to do, and genres are just limitations. Like I still live by that, and I want to make so many different genres of music, but I want to just get better at production overall, so that I don't need to rely on Chris for that stuff, because like I'm being very vocal, you know, on this and stuff. Like Chris is the amazing producer in the remote controllers, and like I'm there, and I'm really good with ideas, but not so good with using Ableton. So that's my next step, is being able to come to the table and really hold my own with Ableton. And I'm really looking forward to diving into this process. I've got a whole thing to, you know, kind of teach me the ins and outs of Ableton, and because I have so much music production knowledge, just not a lot of application. Like
that's honestly the most important part, because like I could sit here and tell you like, yo, like you need to do this and do this, but like until you see it for yourself, and like till you actually go in there and start fucking with everything, and you're just like, yo, like I'm like, I don't know what this scientifically does or whatever, but like I know that like this will do this to this sound.
Until I saw this man learning.
Jesus Christ.
Until I saw this man learning, he was literally like, he's improved so much.
Thanks,
bro.
Like literally, it went from like production of like some 12-year-old to production of like some goddamn fucking 28-year-old. It was absolutely fucking amazing.
Well, I want to run with this point real quick, because when I met you and saw your talent with production, I didn't know that you were, you know, not brand new to production, but I didn't know that you hadn't been doing it for 5 years already. You know what I mean?
I think now I'm pushing. It's either a year and a half or like 2.
This man's pushing boundaries.
So it's like a year and a half or like 2.
It's so cool. Like all these people that I've met in, you know, over the last couple months, it's like you and Hef and Chase Water and all these guys that are free. Yeah, that's the homie. He's
Shout out Chase Water, my boy.
Yeah,
I love you, Chase.
By the time this is posted, my podcast with Chase Water is gonna come out. So shout out to him. I'm so impressed with how far you guys have come in such a short period of time, and because there's the beauty of now is there's so many resources to learn, and I love that, because like I'm someone who's now, you know, got a bunch of knowledge with music production. Like I could probably teach someone how to produce, but to actually do it is like, you know what I mean? Like
you gotta learn.
He actually puts in the work.
Yeah, exactly. And to see how far you guys have come in such a short period of time is really, it's inspiring for me, because now I'm more embarking on that journey too. And like knowing like in my heart, like I've been talking about this on the past few podcasts, that like fear of doing it and being okay with Chris doing it has the fear of not being as good as I hope, because like this is it. Like this has to work. I have no other.
The thing
I have
is,
no other
like,
options.
you have to like, cause I had that like fear for like a while too, where it's just like, oh man, like I won't ever sound like this, or like whatever. But then like I just like started sitting down and I was like, dude, like even if it sounds like shit, just like keep doing it every day. Just like get into like the specifics, and like because like the specifics matter. So it's just like once you do it every day, like it becomes like almost secondhand knowledge, where it's just like I already know what to do. Like I know how to get here, how to make this sound this way, et cetera, et cetera. Like it's just a whole bunch of like there's a whole bunch of like random shit about it.
This
like,
man literally put in work. Like literally, I can tell him a sound, and he knows how to make it.
That group.
Like literally, I can just like hum a sound to him. He knows how to make it now. Like that's the biggest fucking thing.
Two Groots.
Wait, who? You have one on your arm?
Two, and one over there.
Yo, I didn't even see that. That's so lit.
I love Baby Groot. He's my favorite. My favorite.
Dude, you're my favorite, dude.
Like I said,
Stop it.
I fucking put in work.
You know what I'm saying?
I love you for it, bro.
Oh man.
Give me a fist bump.
So I don't really know. I know you make dubstep and stuff, but what's some of the people that you listen to on a regular basis that kind of give you inspiration?
Sam Lamar, definitely. He's very
I've never even heard.
He's very like he deserves way more attention than like he has right now. Just like I find like his like, because I'll listen to like a lot of like things off of like black what's it called, Disciple, or like Black Table, like whatever. Like, is it Black Table or Round Table? Anyway, one of them. Edit that out. But it's like, but the way he like just like kind of puts everything together, and like the cleanliness of like his sounds and everything, like he's honestly a fucking genius, and like I think he's so underrated and he deserves way more attention than he has right now.
You're right.
So he's probably my number one inspiration in terms of sound. Also Sultan.
You're right.
Okay. Yeah. So trying to just take like that. Cause like I really like I've always loved like Arabic music and like Middle Eastern, cause my family's from the Middle East, so I've always like grown up with that around the house, and I wanted to like make a way for me to like take the traditional music that my family listens to, and like the shit that I listen to, and just kind of like put it together. So it took a while. Like I'm still not even there yet, but it's just like. You just throw shit at the wall, see what sticks, that type of thing, you know.
Hell yeah, man. I'm curious to know about like the things that you do, because this is a topic that's kind of come up in the past few podcasts. Like, what are some of the things that you do besides music to kind of get away from it and clear your head and refresh? Because like I know from experience, being in the studio a lot can really fry your brain, your eyes, everything. And so I've been curious to find out like a lot of people know that now I golf a lot, and I work out, and you know.
Brian, you helped clear a tree for me.
I didn't know you golf. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean very, very recently during COVID I started golf, and I fucking love it, because here's the thing that it's teaching me, right? It's teaching me to only compare myself to myself.
Right.
Because the people that I go with, I have yeah, please.
Golf is a savage.
Hold on. My man, Bryce, I love you, and I respect you, and I want to get to know you, but I really would love for Brian to get his shine on this podcast.
All right, yeah, sorry.
Please.
It's just a savage sport. I've been in it, and it's a savage.
Anyway, keep going.
So the reason why I love it is because I'm going with people that are really good, and even if I like, the competitive nature in me is like, yeah, like I want to win, but I'm in the process of something that I'm just trying to get better at. And
Right.
every time I go, I'm trying to beat my last score. And each shot and each hole is like, can I just make better contact? Can I with each shot, with each club, how far is my distance? How far is my distance with each club? And that's teaching me, because it's very hard for me I don't know if it's hard for you, maybe we'll get into it. It's very hard for me to not compare myself to other producers and their
100%.
and
No,
and
definitely like that.
and that's another thing that holds me back from even diving into Ableton and learning and improving, because I'm like, fuck, like these people have put in so many more years and so much more time, and they're huge and doing what I love, but like it really, like what I need to get with is like, I need to put in the time to get to where my process is going to take me, not to get to the level that they're at. And golf is teaching that within me. It's making me realize, like, Brian, it's no matter what, there's no one that I know that's on the PGA Tour that's incredible. And even there's even, I forget who my buddy said, there's a pro golfer on the PGA Tour that shot a 17 on a hole. So like even the best people at it have their moments, right?
Yeah,
so,
dude, everybody does.
So that's what I'm really growing to love about golf. No matter what, it's just I'm trying to improve. And even like I hit a birdie on Friday. It was my first birdie. I was so pumped. But then the next hole I shot like a 7 and it was a par 4. You know what I mean? So
Right.
like even
That's the beauty of golf.
But
And like, because like you were never
nigga.
Like, I'm just here to tell you, it's like my dad used to be a champion at golf. Like my dad used to like run that shit.
Bryce, please. This is Brian's moment. Please let Brian have this. I would like one day we will talk, and I would love to hear your music and probably get you on the podcast. But I really
Sorry, don't worry about it. I'm walking downstairs.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Y'all have a good night.
You too, man.
Dude, but like I just wanted to say, dude, when you were like talking about that whole like golf thing, I don't know what it was about like what you were just saying just now, but it just kind of like sparked something. Like I don't know. You ever had like an aha moment?
Absolutely.
Where you're just like you don't. It's like you start listening to something, or like you start making these connections in your head, and then like all of a sudden you feel like everything just like, and you're just like, whoa! It's like you mind fuck yourself for like 10 minutes in a row. But like, dude, so pretty much like music production is the exact same thing. When you go on golfing, bro, like you're not comparing yourself to Tiger Woods, are you?
Fuck no. Like that's
you see what I'm saying? So like it's the same concept, bro. Like you're at your own pace. When you start worrying about swerving into other people's lanes and et cetera, you're not gonna get nowhere just because you're so worried about what everyone else is doing. Like and that's what I like had to learn doing like music production. Was like, yeah, I may not be like next Virtual Riot or like the next like I don't know Sudden Death or something, but like I'm gonna be me. You know what I'm saying? And that's like I don't know. And in terms of like getting, I think the question was like you were saying like how do I like kind of get out of like I think writer's block was pretty much it.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like, what else do you do to kind of refresh your brain and like, even if it's just like hanging out playing video games? Like, I know a lot of people that do that shit, you know?
So I play video games. I mainly like I'll switch up like what I listen to. So like instead of listening to EDM or whatever, I'll listen to rap. Sometimes I just won't listen to anything at all. Like I'll go on like a 40-50 minute car ride. Just won't listen to anything. I'll just want to like hear the wind and everything. Also like really hippie type shit.
I love that. I love that.
But just honestly like just decompress and take my mind off of it, because like if I sit in the studio for more than like 2-3 hours and I can't figure anything out, then like I'm gonna start stressing myself. I'm like, yo, why doesn't this sound good? Whatever, blah blah blah. And it just ends up like I just end up making myself even more mad. Another thing I'll do is if I'm having a really really hard time doing something or like making like a concept for a track, I'll just sit there and I'll sound design. Like And like usually while I'm sound designing, if a certain sound hits me the right way, like I'll automatically generate like an entire idea off of that one sound. So it's a good way to definitely like get your mind out the, you know, writer's block. And I know it's a pain in the ass, and I know every single artist, no matter how good you are, they have it's a thing, and like everyone handles it differently.
Dude, there's so many different things when it comes to music production to learn and to develop and get better, and so many resources to help with that. It's just as important to clear your head. It's just as important to go on that drive and not listen to music and just listen to the sounds, and because you never know where inspiration is going to come from. And that's like, I didn't know golf was going to do this for me, right? Like, I just know that I love going and hanging out with the boys, and like golf was like something that we could do during, you know, quarantine. And I you know, with a little I don't know, the strike of luck, my brother-in-law is an avid golfer. He's got like 6 sets of clubs, and his backyard
Oh, he's about the shit.
dude, and his
about it.
backyard is the 18th fairway of Cherry Valley Country Club. And like he's you know, I work with him now in his content company, and he's like, oh, dude, you're going golfing with your friend? I was just going to use my buddy's clubs. And he was like, dude, I got a set. Come on. And he's like, here's a set. Here's cleats. Here's this. And just like helped me out and helped me get started. Like, if I had to drop a G on a freaking new set of clubs, like I wouldn't have started golfing. You know,
Right.
I wasn't in a place where I could drop, you know, like
Right.
I couldn't do that. And so like I got a freaking, all I had to do was buy a putter, because he had a $450 putter that he was like, you got to give this back, but the rest of the clubs you can keep. It's like, so I got a $150 putter, and I basically, I equate that to, I spent $150 on getting my whole set of clubs, and yet I have a freaking Titleist set, and you know what I mean? Like, it's freaking, it's awesome. And the beauty about it, that you know, with everything that I've been saying about what it's teaching me, it's like, you're gonna suck.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, it's gonna take a while for you to get good. And if you really want this, to be what you can do, and you don't need to rely on anyone else to help you with production, and then put in the work and do this. And just like with podcasting, like, this isn't something that people that everybody's good at doing, but if anybody wants to do this, they have to put in the work and continue to get better at it. And anything in life, like, it's like golf is really teaching me, like, all the things that I knew about life, it's giving me a practical application for it. Like, when you get started at something, you're going to suck. But if you really want to get better at it, like, you got to put in the work. If you can't compare yourself to anybody else in this, because you're not going to shoot a 72 on a par 72 course when you first start off. That's not going to happen. Like,
unless you're just like a gift from God or something, or like it's a miracle or something.
dude, even I don't know. There's no God. God has never given anyone the gift to shoot par. It's that hard. It's that hard. Like, people might have picked up a basketball and been athletic enough to be like decent at basketball, and to be, you know what I mean? Like, that's never happened for golf. Like, you got to put in the work, and it's never happened with music production. No one's opened Ableton and not watched a video and made a banger. Like, that's never happened. It's the same process, the same, you know, comparison with that. And you know what? Like, dude, it freaking, you're going outside, you're in the sun, you're getting I don't know if it's the most important. You're getting one of the most important things for your immune system. You're getting vitamin D, and you're hanging out, and you're doing exercise. I mean, come on, you know, I don't fucking.
No, I know what you mean, though.
But like, and then there's this whole the whole other, you know, don't like. First off, I love these hats. I love these hats so
Hey
much.
man, you can rock them, bro. They look good on you, man.
Flat brim with the rope and that font. I like want to get it. I want to get it to say "Free Yourself." Like I want to get these hats custom to say "Free Yourself."
That looks like it's just a piece of like a. Is it just like one piece, or does it go all around the hat?
No, it stops the rope. But I love these hats so much. I got 6 of them. I got.
What the hell?
I gotta get different. I gotta get different colorways now. So like,
I gotta be swaggy, dog.
come on, like I find a hat. It's like so many other things. Like I find something that I like and I go way too hard at it. I found these T-shirts that I love. They're so comfortable, and I bought 10 white, 10 black. So I have them, and I'll never run out, even if I take a long time to do my laundry. They're just so comfortable. I love soccer jerseys. I found a app that gets them for $20, and they're fake, but who gives a fuck, because it's just a dry fit T-shirt that's dope as hell. And now I have 23 fucking jerseys. And I found jeans that I like, and I have 3 pairs in regular jeans, 3 pairs in gray, and 5 pairs in black. And like I just find what I like and I go with it. And I'm comfortable and like in the clothes, not because getting uncomfortable is where growth happens. But I mean, I'm dressed comfortable and I don't need to think about what I'm wearing. So it cuts down in my time in getting ready. And because it cuts down to me being self-conscious about, oh my God, what am I going to wear to look good? And, you know, like shit like that in my being materialistic and finding what I like and buying clothes, I found something to help me in my area of life of being self-conscious and my low self-esteem that when I focus on gets low. But in reality, like I really do love myself, and I think very highly of myself, and I have very high expectations of myself. And that is like a healthy low self-esteem, because it's like, I got to keep working harder. Because it's not that I'll never be good enough. It's that I'm not where I want to be, and I have to work harder to get to where I want to be.
Yes,
and
it's not gonna come overnight.
And even when I get to where I want to be, I'll have to then work even harder to stay at that level and provide for myself and my family. And so there's so much. I'm trying to, you know, take away not take away the self-conscious, because that stuff is important.
You need it. Yeah, you need that.
It means that I care, right? Like
right.
But I want to minimize the negative self-talk that I have.
Right.
And that is what's important. It's not bad to have low self-esteem if you now are seeking out ways to think positively about yourself and to get better. Right. Someone who's out of shape. Duncan Trussell, I freaking love this man so much. He's a comedian and podcaster, and made the TV show Midnight Gospel that's on Netflix. It's incredible if you haven't seen it. Yeah.
Wait, you're talking about that like really like trippy show?
He is one of my favorite people in the world, and he was just on his episodes when he's on Joe Rogan are my favorite episodes, because he's a Buddhist, and like he identifies as a Buddhist, and he's very mindful, and like that brings that side of Joe Rogan out too, and like those are my favorite episodes. And then on this last podcast, they were talking about how they want to do it once a week, them too, and I'm like losing it because I love that.
Like, yes.
I want it so much. But Duncan said this, and he said it on a past podcast they did together, but he brought it up again. And he said, we have to get rid of this, or he's like, I have to get rid of I want to get in shape and work out and exercise, not because I hate who I am and I don't like myself, but because I love myself so much and I know I deserve to be healthy. That's why I need to work out and exercise and get in shape. And there's so much of and on the first time Joe Rogan's on his podcast when he said it, Joe Rogan was like, yeah, it's a beautiful way. This time, like, he's a little drunk and a little high, and he's like, shut up, Duncan, like, fat shaming works, and you know what I mean? Like, and he's a comedian, and he's kidding. There's there's truth there's a little bit of truth in every joke, and that's why it's a little funny. It's like, but it's a joke, and that's another thing. That's a whole nother conversation of how much we can get into this all day about like intention versus perception, and
exactly,
and there that is a whole nother ball game, and it's very important for people to know, like, that on podcasts and stuff like that, people are bullshitting, and especially these comedians, like, they're saying stuff that's right on the edge.
They say a lot of like very edgy shit. Like, it's very like, it's very gray area.
Yeah, and they're saying it because they're trying to get a laugh. They're not saying it because they're trying to hurt anybody.
Right.
Like, and I've tried to adopt the mindset of I don't know if you ever read the book The Four Agreements, and if you haven't, you should. It talks about being impeccable with your word is one of the four agreements, and not to cause harm with what you say, and to always, because like you could love something so much, like, say I hated dubstep, and you love dubstep, and I'm like, dubstep's done and it's over, and like, that's so stupid. Like, that sentence right there, how you take it could be, oh my God, like that's what I love, and I can't do this anymore, and like, and that could kill something in you, when that's not my choice whether or not your opinion on something is positive or negative. That's your choice, and you should love what you love because you love it, and you should do what you do because you want to do it, as long as it's not harming someone,
right.
then it's okay. And as long as it really is you and what you love to do, then you're bringing positivity into the world. You're bringing your own love and your passion into the world. So I need to be impeccable with my word. Like, I can say what I want about Top 40, but Top 40, those people are providing for their families.
Right, 100%.
They're doing something that is positively affecting people in their lives. So, like, my opinion about Top 40 doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like, I kind of come from like I used to be very like one-sided when it came to like music or like other like decisions and stuff, and like I used to be like, dude, if you don't like dubstep, fuck you, like you don't know shit, like whatever. But like now it's just like I've taken the time to just like understand versus like I don't have to like something, but as long as I understand it, you know what I'm saying? So like now, like, I may not be like the biggest like I don't know, like house fan or whatever, but like I appreciate it, and it's just like, if you like that, dude, like, I'm so happy for you if you like it. You know what I'm saying? It's like not exactly my cup of tea, but I will support whoever like wants to do it. Be like, you don't have to like, just because you don't necessarily agree with something doesn't mean you have to not like it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Again, my opinion about religion does not matter. There is a prayer in, I don't know if I know it's Christian, but I don't know if but whatever. The prayer talks about seek to understand rather than to be understood. So when you just said I understand, like that, that's what's important. Not my opinion is the only opinion that matters and it's right. It's, wait, why do you feel this way about this? And can you explain to me? You might not change my mind, but I have to be open-minded to hearing your perspective.
You gotta understand, like, that the whole thing you were saying with like perception earlier. It's just like, you can say something to me and I might not like, I don't understand it, but like, I don't understand it because like I don't know how to understand it. Does that make sense? So it's very like, I definitely have learned to have an open mind, because once you have an open mind, you're very like, it's almost like you become like unbiased in a way, because like you know both sides of the story, and you just like you can formulate your own opinion off of that. Um, I just think like in general, just like being open-minded is very important, especially now with like everything that's been going on in the world, et cetera, et cetera. And it's just like you either have right-siders, left-siders, whatever. But like then there's other people in the middle that see both sides of the story, and they're just like, okay, they have good points and they have good points, whatever. And it's just like being open-minded. I think has been like the most important thing that I've learned in the past year or two.
People just want good music.
So it's just like, it took me a very, very long time to like come to terms with that. And like once I did, it's almost like I became at peace with myself. And that sounds like very hippie-ish of me to say, but it's just like, that's just like how I felt, you know?
I love the like I said before, like a healthy dose of self-consciousness. Like you're because you're getting deep. You're like I see you getting a little bit uncomfortable. And you're like, I know it's kind of hippie-ish, but like you're talking to someone who is like all about mindfulness and meditation and freaking like I love that you feel that way. You know what I mean? Like
it's so hard to find now too. Like not like me and you, like we're different in terms of like how we think, but like we come to understand each other at like a mutual like meeting point, and we share these certain thoughts and whatever. And like we could have a conversation and we could disagree on something, but like that doesn't mean like that it's going to be all hell breaks loose type of thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's very, very hard to find people that are just willing to listen. Because like if half the people just shut the fuck up now, if half the people just shut the fuck up and listen to what the actual other person was actually saying, this world would be such a better place.
You're one of the few that
no cap
have actually been able
no
to.
So it's just like I don't. And the thing is like sad. I think this is very sad of me to say, and it kind of sucks, but I don't think it'll ever reach that point. Just because like we're like we're humans, and as like naturally we're just like selfish people, and that's just how it is. And like it takes a very few for like someone to like step out of their comfort zone and like veer off a little bit for them to like actually understand like the other side. I feel like I'm like babbling, and if I'm not making sense, tell me to shut up.
So to expand on your point, I think another way to look at it is not so much that people are inherently selfish, but listen, you should be the most important person in the world to you, 100%. Right? Because you need to take care of yourself, and you need to sit down in Ableton or whatever DAW you use, and yeah, it is Ableton, and you need to.
What'd you just say? What did you just say before?
It is Ableton. It is
okay,
Ableton.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I said. Because we've done a Zoom where you showed me. You know what I mean? Like I know that you use Ableton, so like you need to do the things for you in order to get to a place where you're providing for yourself so that you can live and so that you can then help others. But I can't help others without first helping myself.
Exactly.
Right?
100%. Like I couldn't have said that any better myself, honestly.
It's the whole thing. If an airplane's going down, you put your mask on first, and then you get someone else's mask on, right? Then you help them with that, because like you need to be alive in order to help someone else. So like I need to work out and be healthy so that I can continue. So I can, if one time I dive into Ableton and it's 8:00 at night and I got to be up at 6 a.m. the next day, I need to know when to stop so that I get enough sleep so that the next day I'm still okay to do all the things that I need to do and to be healthy. And so that so if I stay up till 3 a.m. working on music, if I stay up to 3 a.m. watching TV and I have to be up at 6 a.m., well, the next day I'm going to be fried. Yeah. I'm also, I know I get cranky if I don't get enough fucking sleep, right? I get angry. I can snap on people. And so then What if I snap on someone and then that person takes that negative energy and their next interaction with someone is now negative, and now that negativity is spreading like fucking fuck, you know what I mean? Like
It's a domino effect.
and and so now I'm affecting so many other people because I was negative and because I was selfish and wanted to watch TV till 3 a.m. And even though I knew I had to be up at 6 a.m. to do X, and X and be, you know, the productive person that I need to do. And whereas that same situation, if I had went to sleep at, you know, say 10 o'clock at night and got the 8 hours of sleep, and I woke up and someone cut me off, or someone said something that I now, at that point, if I hadn't gotten enough sleep, took it the wrong way and took offense to it and said fuck you and fuck, you know, said some shit I didn't mean and that was unnecessary. Whereas if I just accepted, you know, someone else might have been having a bad day, and I it's like it wasn't, their anger wasn't directed at me. It's their own shit. But if I'm not in a place where I'm rested and I've meditated and I've done all the things that I need to take care of me, I might take that in a different way and spread negativity. Whereas I could, if someone says some outlandish shit and I'm in a good spot and I'm like, look, dude, I know you're not really mad at me, like, and I still love you, bro. Like, I still love you. It's gonna be okay. I could change that person's day in a positive way, and they could be like, fuck, man, this shit that I'm thinking about, it's not that serious, and like everything's gonna be okay. Like, my positivity could reverse their negativity, and that is so important. Like, you know, I love Duncan Trussell, and he said on the podcast, there's a he saw the Dalai Lama like speak, and he got up on the podium, whatever it was, and he said these very few but very profound words: "We can always be kinder."
Facts, 100%.
And he said the whole crowd was just like, you
Holy
just saw
shit.
everyone like, yeah.
Bro, because, like, if you think about it, like, I've always heard that, like, saying, like, one nice thing to somebody a day will always help. And I never, like, really thought about it until, like, somebody said, like, they commented on, like, they complimented me on something. And I was like, holy shit, that just kind of, like, changed my entire mood. Like, it's very just, like, holy shit, like, people, like, actually, like see what I'm doing or whatever, and they're acknowledging it. And it's just, like, I feel like a lot of people get stuck in that loop where it's just like whatever they do or whatever they wear, whatever, it's like they're trying to get noticed, but they don't get noticed. So it's like even something as simple as just like holding the door open for somebody. It doesn't seem like much, but that is like a huge, like, it's like almost like a subliminal thing that goes on in your head. And it's just little things, like, to me, like, make all the difference. Like, I don't know. It's just like certain things, like showing that like people have like thought this detail, like they have been so specific to think about this specific thing to say to me, that it goes on. And like this, like I could go on all day about this, but just being open-minded is like where it comes back to. You be open-minded where you notice that like the whole thing, like when you're saying like about sleep or whatever, like if you know how to like take care of yourself and know that like this is how you're going to be, like if you go to sleep at 3, you're going to be a grumpy motherfucker when you wake up. But if you go to sleep at 10, you're able to wake up and spread that positivity and spread that joy. But if you do sleep late, you can't do that, and you end up becoming negative energy versus positive.
And to your point, you know, we can use the example of just holding the door open. Like if someone is going in the door and they're, you know, 15 feet ahead of you, they have that moment of like, I'm 15 feet ahead of them, like I don't need to hold the door. But my thought when someone doesn't is like, oh, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Right? And so if I see someone and they're 15 feet behind me, I'm now conscious. I'm like, am I really in that big of a rush that I can't wait an extra 3 seconds for them to come to the door and hold it? And it's not even that, like, it's not even like hold the door open for old ladies and women. And
it's like in general, like
it's just, we can always be kinder. Doesn't matter who's coming in the door. Like if someone's coming in next, like it's it's a nice thing for you to do. Like it feels like a cliche thing to talk about because like that's like but that's like just like the one prime example of like how a tiny bit of I'm in a hurry. Say I didn't get that enough sleep and I'm like, oh, I'm just like snappy and I'm in a hurry and I'm like, fuck, I'm not waiting for that guy. And I go like that tiny bit of negativity could then spider web again from that guy. Whereas if I have enough sleep and I have meditated and I have exercised, I'm in that spot where like I know I don't need to rush. Like just today, like on my way to golfing, there was a guy crossing the street when I was making a left, and like he looked at his phone, looked at me, and looked down at his phone and continued to walk slowly. And my first thought was like,
Fuck that dude.
I'm like, thanks for because just that little bit of effort, like when I'm crossing the street and I see someone coming, like I'm not looking back and like I'm taking my time. Like I'm like, oh my bad, like
Speed up.
hurry up. So, but that's one perspective. The other perspective is like I've given myself plenty of time where that extra 2 seconds of waiting for him to cross the street does not freaking,
doesn't make a difference.
off. Like,
Right.
Ryan, you should not, like, it's okay to get upset about whatever, but like, I don't need to let that little moment stick with me to the point where now I'm mad when I'm going to do something that is inherently an exercise, golf, that is relaxing and chill and smoking stogie and shooting fucking bogeys, dude. Come on. I'm chilling.
Shut the fuck up, bro.
But fuck that guy. I didn't hurry crossing the street now.
But I mean, Ryan, if you think about it though, it's like that whole concept of just like waiting that extra, like how you were talking about, it's very cliche to talk about, but I feel like it's the most like basic like skill or whatever that a lot of people lack. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I feel like, and the whole thing, it goes back to understanding. That was the point. Like I forgot it, but like when like that old person was like crossing the road or whatever, yeah, it's okay to get mad, but you also have to take in the other side of where he's at. You know what I'm saying? He's like probably like 60, 70, like whatever. And it's like they can't move that fast. You know what I'm saying? It's just like when you're at that age, how are people gonna perceive you like when you're doing that? You know what I'm saying? It's just like it's that like, yeah, you have your side, but like you have to see the other person's side, or else like you're just gonna be very like blinded to it, you know?
And take it a step further. I don't know what that dude's day has been like, and maybe he might have just gotten the fucking diagnosis of cancer. He might just gotten a diagnosis of cancer, and he's like on a whole different wavelength of just like none of this shit fucking matters, and like I'm
really,
fucking
like
I'm
never
gonna
know.
die, so like fuck anybody who like he's in another world where like hurrying up to cross the street, which should not matter to me, and waiting an extra second to hit the gas to go to where I'm going, like none of that. Like there's so much more in his day, or maybe a friend just fucking died, or like maybe
you literally never fucking know. And the thing is,
you never know what anybody else has gone through in that day. So we can always be kinder.
Exactly. And dude, like it's crazy because like, okay, you drive every day, right? Like you go somewhere every day. You see all these people around you. You have no idea who the fuck any of them are. But the thing is like you don't, like that's the exact point. Is like you don't know who any of them are. And it's just like you don't know, like cause to them, because like to you, they're just like some random person like in a car driving.
Mm-hmm.
And to them it's the same, but to you. And it's like, before me, like, I'm going to put it like this. So, like, before, like, me and you talk to each other, ever. Like, dude, I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, I don't know this guy. And then like we started talking. I was like, wait, dude, he's actually like a really kind person, like positive, like all that shit. It's just like, dude, I love you so much, Danny. But dude, but it's like you don't like. I kind of explain it like this. You play Grand Theft Auto before?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you have your character, and then you have all those NPCs that like they're just people. You know what I'm saying? Like in a world where just like people are kind of like closed-minded or like whatever, they're just kind of like very opinionated. That's all other people are to them, are just like NPCs. Like you don't know who the fuck these people are. They really don't fucking matter to you or whatever. But like the thing is, it comes back to the whole same concept, understanding. Like this person has like, it's kind of mind fucking to think about, but like this this person next to me that I have no idea like who they are or whatever. They have their own life. They have their own, like they've been on their own path or whatever. It's just a completely different realm from what you're like used to. So it's like I had to like sit down like think about that to myself for like a couple hours. I was just like, dude, like that's actually really fucking like crazy to me that like there's so many different people with so many different like lifestyles and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Is the mafia
So
involved?
no, but
The
so
mafia is not involved.
but yeah, like pretty much like we could sit here and like talk about this like thing the entire day, but I feel like the main point that it comes back to is like understanding and being open-minded. Like just be considerate. Don't be a fucking dick. It's not that hard, dude. Like it's and the thing is like it took me a while to like understand that. So like I can't even like talk about it
Just
like
don't be
in
an
terms of like being an asshole or whatever, but it's just
Don't
like
be an asshole, bro.
nigga.
You're not an asshole, bro. You're not an asshole.
I hope not, but
You're the opposite of an asshole.
but
bro.
pretty much
Right.
like
Please, I trust me. I want to get to know you. I want to talk to you, but you're ruining this for Brian.
This man hates me so much.
no, he doesn't hate you.
Like
Okay,
this is really something that's cool for Brian to get to do, and having someone chime in on the side while he's in the middle of a point, it's very disruptive. And the whole point of this podcast is to be in a flow state and let things come to you. And
You
when
can edit all of this out, right?
I'm 100% going to.
Okay.
I
Sorry.
please,
No, you're good.
trust me, like I'm not taking offense, because if I was in your position, I'm the dude in my office where people are having a conversation and I chime in. Like I know that about me, so I don't blame you for doing the things that you're doing. I'm just
Sorry, I'm too overprotective. I'm too overprotective for my boy.
I really want
Because
Brian.
I've seen
Here
him
you
grown
go.
up.
Here
I've
you
seen
go.
him grown up, and like now it's like I don't want to see him get wrong.
Absolutely. And I want you to know that I have Brian's best interest in heart when I'm asking you to please let Brian have this moment.
Absolutely. I won't interrupt you.
Jenny, can I just say one thing to you, buddy?
What's up?
Fucking love you, dude. Dude, honestly, like,
I
okay,
fucking
like,
love you,
this is like completely besides like whatever we're talking about, dude. But like, ever since I have met you, and just I think it's like when we first met each other in person. I think that's where just like I was like, dude, I fucking love this guy so much, dude. Like, you just like, I don't know, bro. It's like you radiate like this like energy. It's very infectious. Like, bro, but this is so silly,
I'm sorry,
dude.
I'm jealous of it.
Dude,
I'm jealous of it. I'm jealous of it. Like, literally, like.
I think
just
like
telling you.
one of the things that like I look forward to the most, this is so fucking silly and you're gonna laugh at me for this, but it's like your morning Instagram stories every morning. Remember of like you making your bed, dude. I don't know why, but that shit just like it just gets me like so hyped. I'm like, dude, he just like set up his bed like he's ready to fucking go. Like he's not playing no games today. Like he like all the sheets tucked in all nicely. You know what I'm saying? That bitch look tight.
and I'm terrible at accepting compliments, so I'm gonna deflect now. But the thing about it is like once I made the commitment to start making, like I've been making my bed every day probably. I'm not gonna lie to you. I got this habit when I was in rehab. All right, and we had to make our beds in the morning, and someone told me that's in recovery, like, if you make your bed, if the first thing you do in the morning is make your bed, like you start off with a win, like you started off with a positive,
Productive.
and so anything you do after that, well, it's like, well, I still did something good today. I still made my bed. I started my day off right. And like, no matter what, also another thing that I was told is like, no matter what, at any point in your day, you can start your day over. Like, if you think you're having a bad day, you can sit down and you can be like, it's okay. Well, now my day is going to start here. And now I'm going to try and do one thing that's positive. I'm going to try and do one thing to, like, I haven't been productive. I woke up and I sat in bed for 3 hours on Instagram. It's like, I can sit here and I can beat myself up. I can beat the shit out of myself and be like, you're an unproductive fucking asshole, and that's why you're not where you want to be. Or I can be like, well, now I'm gonna get out of bed. I'm gonna make my bed, and I'm gonna start. Now I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna be productive. And so at any given point, it's you can start your day off with making your bed. And like, if you're someone who doesn't make your bed in the morning and you're still productive, you still do all this, and you're like, fuck Ryan and his making his bed. Like, I'm gonna sleep in that bed tonight anyway. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, that's okay too. I'm not saying that my way of starting off my day is the right way to do it. It's just, it works for me.
That's just how you do. That's your. It's let's call it your workflow.
Yeah.
Let's call it.
That's
So
how you do it.
so like with, I think that's actually a very good point to bring up. Like, my mind is like all over the place right now, but like pretty much is like, when you make your bed, like to other people, that's like really fucking hard for them. Yeah. And if you want to like bring everything back to like music production, let's say, right? So the hardest thing for me about like music production is opening the program. That's the number one hardest thing. Once I open the program, I get started. But like, dude, my shit has been stuck on that screen. You can't see it from here.
Yeah,
That's Ableton right now. But like, it's been stuck on the same screen for the past 4 or 5 hours. So it's just like once you start, you get rolling. But like, the hardest part to overcome is getting started.
Dude, that is with everything in life. What is the hard? I have had this login to this specific program to help me learn Ableton better for 2 months. And I finally typed in the login. Monday. Was it Monday? Was it yesterday? Yeah. Finally did it Monday. And I saw all the videos and I was just like, oh my God, it's possible. Like, I can, like, Ryan, you were right when you chose music production, because you have something different inside of you than anybody else. And there's no one that can say, Ryan, you have a record, so you can't work for yourself and be a music producer. There's no one that can say, Ryan, you fucked up too bad when you were an addict, so you can't. I'm my own boss with that. I'm the one that can take what I fucking did. Doesn't matter what my past is, because I'm a different person than I was, 5.5, a little bit more than that years ago when I was using. And I'm a much better person overall because of the work that I've put in. And I need to believe that about myself. And the proof is not in when I say it about myself. It's when I sit here and you give me that compliment and I'm like, fuck, man, like that. Like you said, like, saying that one nice thing, like, can change a person's fucking, not just day, man.
Life, dude.
Yeah, like, people, I don't care who you are. Like, when you get up in the morning and you get dressed and you go out, like, you put on what you thought like was what was going to be your best version of yourself, right? Like, I get dressed and I dress the way I got dreads because, like, I love the being me, right? Like I love that about myself. But at the same time, there's always a part of me. Like right now with my dreads, I can look in the mirror and say, this girl or this person might not like me because I have dreads.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what's important though. I like me.
Facts.
I love my dreads. I fucking love my hair. And whoever I end up with is going to like me for me.
Not in your hair.
Not, I mean, they might be like, oh my God, your hair is fucking dope.
Hey, he got dread. Oh my God.
The important part is like, whoever I'm going to be with is going to accept every part of me.
Facts. Yeah, 100%.
So like me being more me by doing something like this, finding these hats that I freaking love, like these little things like putting 3 red dreads in my hair, like these things that
got 3?
1, 2, there it is.
Bro, you look like a fucking Dragon Ball Z character on fucking just like an enhanced Dragon Ball Z character. Dude, you're like the Super Saiyan with the final form. With the yes, dude, I'm fucking doing it. It's a thing. Y'all heard it here first. He's going to be in the finale of Dragon Ball Z.
Right fucking now.
You did. But fuck, I started ranting and I forgot about my point. I keep talking. I'll remember it.
But the important thing is like I made like a decision for myself to go clean shaven, right? Like it was partly because my best friend since fucking 3rd grade was like, Ryan, like you look better when you're clean shaven than with a beard. And like that made me open-minded to not be so attached to my beard. And like, I like being clean shaven and I like having a huge beard. So like I made the like agreement with myself. Well, like I kind of want to grow my beard out from Labor Day to Memorial Day and then be clean shaven for the summer. And like, just because I say that on here doesn't mean that I need to not shave from Labor Day to Memorial Day. Like it's whatever I end up wanting to do. Like usually what happens is it starts off with no shave November and then I just see how long I go. Like that's honestly why I grew out a beard in the first place. And like, right. You know what I mean? But the only thing I don't like about being clean shaven is like, unless I shave every day, like you can't see it so much here, but like when I'm like, I don't like the next day when I don't shave, like it makes me feel like I look like someone who doesn't take care of themselves, you know, right. Like even though it's just one day of not shaving, in my head, it's like, it's someone who doesn't take care of themselves at all. You know what I mean? Like there's right. That. So like when I'm clean shaven, like I got to shave every day. And the part that I don't like about having a big beard is then I get self-conscious when I'm eating or something and there's shit in it there's just like more self-conscious with right. That too. Right. Like, so Ryan, take a look at that, right? Like, let's take a look at that. When I'm clean shaven, I have something that I think about that makes me self-conscious, and when I have a beard. So Ryan,
which is it?
So no matter what, I have that thought of being self-conscious, right? So like Ryan, let's go back to that. Like you got dreads because you want to and you like it. Like it doesn't matter,
right? Like
that is the wrong way to think about it, is that there's something about it that makes me self-conscious. It's like, no, like I'm doing me and I do take care of myself and I know that. So like, who cares? It's not that serious.
Right.
That's my favorite one of my lines that I learned from is actually from an ex that she got from I don't know if it's psychologist, psychiatrist, whatever, a therapist, you know, but because she was having, you know, trouble with that, like always thinking like I do really deep about something and driving themselves crazy. And like, the reality is, take a deep breath. It's not that serious.
Dude, yeah, so I agree 100%. So like I'm gonna like another thing I learned from my ex also. She told me, she's like, we got to a very like let's call it like a high point or so, kind of like a turning point of things. And she says one thing that kind of just like really stuck with me, like for the like until today, is just like, how can I love you, or like how can you love me if you don't love yourself? And now from that moment I was like, holy fuck, she's right. Because dude, before you met me, like I was never like this. Like my personality was complete 180. Like I was very just like to myself, never didn't really talk to anybody. And then like I realized I was like, wait, the people that like I'm friends with now, they were friends with me because like I was like this, or like I was myself, so to speak. So when I started to realize, I was like, okay, like it's a lot easier to be myself than to pretend to be something that I'm not. Mm-hmm. So I just started not giving a fuck. Like I'll just like whatever, like if I have something in my head, I'm not gonna hide it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna like let how I feel, or like how I think I'm supposed to be, like I'm just gonna let it out. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. That's fine. Not everybody's meant to be friends with each other. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's like very recently, I just like came to the conclusion, like, dude, like love yourself, dude. Like if you don't love yourself, then nobody fucking will. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, maybe like given like the whole like ma and pa thing, but in terms of like mental health, dude, like if you don't love yourself, you're gonna have a miserable life, and it's gonna suck because you're always gonna be seeking some type of acceptance from somebody, and you're gonna try and like change the way you act to like get the acceptance of that person, but that's not you. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm not me, and like I don't want to have to act different around like you, Ryan. Like I don't want to have to act different for you to like me. Like I want you to like me and be friends with me because like of the way you met me. And dude, I am a loud, outgoing, like crazy motherfucker, and that's just how it's gonna be. And you either like it or you don't. I'm not asking everybody to like it. You know what I'm saying? This is y'all's world. I'm just hearing it. So
that is probably the best possible way for us to close out this podcast, man. It is the absolute truth, because if everybody likes you, then that means you're doing things to fit in with every little part of whatever if everybody likes you, you're not being you.
You're doing something wrong.
You're not sticking up for yourself. And that was just like, that was beautifully said, man. So SFYNX, my man, I love you to death. I'm so happy we did this. I can't wait to put this podcast out. And one last thing, tell everybody how to find you.
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter. I'm not gonna give you all my Facebook because y'all might try to message me or something. No, I'm just messing. You could reach me at Instagram at SFYNX. I am SFYNX. I forgot I just changed it. And then same thing on Twitter. So I'll give Ryan the links, and if he's gonna post it, I'll just have do all that. But yeah, if any of you listen, or if any of you listening and I don't know you personally, don't ever feel like afraid to reach out to me or whatever. I'm more than willing to talk to people and just have good conversations with people. I'm a pretty easygoing person.
Hell yeah, man. Once again, SFYNX, my man, I love you to death. I will talk to you soon. To everybody that's watching, that tuned in, thank you so much for your love and support. It means the world to me that you would take the time to listen, and you know, if you, there's no, my career doesn't exist without people listening and tuning in and stuff. So that support, it means the world to me, because I'm just trying to do the things that I love, and I love doing this. I love getting deep with my boys. And of course, we've had a couple girls on here too that are producers, and they're awesome, and I love them to death. And so thank you everyone for your support. Until next time, peace, love.
Thank you for having me, homie.
And respect.
Yeah.